Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. In this one, we're going to be diving into the 5 things or 6 things actually that we've learned from the preseason Arsenal have had since June to August. Now, I'm not convinced we are title contenders. I'm not convinced we will win the title, and I don't think we are ready for the season. In this one, we're going to be diving into my 6 observations of what I've seen in preseason and why I think we are absolutely nowhere near where we were at the beginning of last season. Now, it might get better midway the season. It might get better after a couple of games, but what you're going to see during the beginning of the season is not what we saw during the beginning of last campaign. Now, I want you to get in the comment box below and let me know one thing that you have seen in our preseason that has impressed you or that has actually turned you off. For example, in my own case, I don't think the tactics are actually, fluid. I don't think our football is fluid, and that has actually turned me off. Last season, with Odegaard, Partey, and Xhaka in that midfield, with Alexander Zinchenko inverting into that midfield with Partey, and Gabriel is dropping into that midfield as well as a striker, it was so smooth, it was so fluid, it was so good. In this preseason, we've seen nothing like that. In this preseason, we've really struggled. That is my key highlight in this preseason. But let me know in the comment box below, what is your key highlight of this preseason, and do you think we will be anywhere near the title? Hit the like button. Let's get this video to 500 likes, and let's dive into my lessons from Arsenal's preseason. Number 1 is that we need a striker. I've always talked about this even last season, but I think this is very evident. This is more evident, especially this summer. Now, one of the things I've seen with Arsenal in this preseason is we've actually been a little bit more direct as compared to last season. So last season, we dominated games, hence we created a lot of chances, and you will have seen that Saka did find himself with a couple of chances at his hands, Martinelli as well, and Gabriel as well, and we were very wasteful. But that came from the fact that we dominated games a lot of the time. So you will find that on the clock, around 66 minutes, around 70 minutes, we actually had the ball, and the other opponents could only dominate the game up to 30%, 40%, or to the maximum of 49%. So it means that because we had the ball majority of the time, and we were looking to keep it rather than go direct and create chances directly, we would literally be safe. This summer and this preseason, I've seen so direct moves from Arsenal. I've seen a very different approach from Mikel Arteta, and I tell you what, I really do like it. I like when Arsenal go direct. I like it when we play those simple passes into the final third and then finishing off. So you will have seen the Major League Soccer highlights, the 2 Leandro Trossard goals. Those goals are actually a very typical example of what I'm talking about here. Arsenal not dragging on the ball, but literally getting the ball from our own half, driving into the final half of the opponent, and then shooting on goal. That is what we saw in those goals for Leandro Trossard. The problem with that is because you're not going to dominate games a lot because of the direct approach, you're looking to play on the transition, you're looking to play some kind of direct football. You will need a typical striker. You will need a very good finisher. It might not be the Erling Haaland type. It might not be the Robert Lewandowski type, but it is what you will need a finisher that you can actually rely on, right? Because you're gonna create around 4-5 chances per 90, and you need to bury 3 or at least 4 of them. Now that is my problem. Edin Ketia has predominantly been the striker that Mikel Arteta has actually focused on in this preseason, and actually I think Mikel knew that he was not going to start the season with Gabriel Jesus. Hence, we've seen Edin Ketia in almost each and every preseason game this summer. I don't think Eddie is up to the task. I don't think Eddie is going to be your striker for the direct approach. Unless Mikel Arteta is going to, again, go back and rethink the tactics. Otherwise, the direct approach is very good. It will win us games. It will get us into, winning positions. The only problem is you don't have a striker. We don't have a striker to do that. And also, secondly, one of our problems last season was Gabriel Jesus missing chances. Gabriel Jesus not being strong and decisive in areas and games where we needed him. Southampton away, I don't think it was that great, to be honest. Liverpool as well, away, he did score, but I don't think it was that great in finishing in the penalty area. I think we just need a striker. It's so evident that Mikel needs a number 9. He needs a striker that he can rely on, but he also needs a striker that can create a difference. 20, 25 goals, probably 30 goals in a campaign. That actually wins you the league. I mean, Harry Kane is available. Ivanson is available. Watkins has always been available. I don't think Villa will sell now that we are in the last 27, 28 days of the window. But that is a point Mikel has to think about. We need a striker. Point number 2 is we are not ready for the season. And I saw this against Monaco. Now, many people will have actually tell you that, will have told you that that was our second team. Indeed, it was. And it was actually very indicative of where we have come and where we have reached in terms of squad building. The problem is that we've not seen one game where Arsenal have been all right the whole preseason. So whether we played Rice, Partey and Odegaard, or we've played Partey, Odegaard and Kai Havertz, or we've played without Partey and without Rice, it doesn't seem to be there. I mean, you don't feel the new season, preparedness. You don't feel, last preseason, when we played Chelsea, when we played all these teams in the US, it was different. This was an Arsenal side that could pass the ball. This was an Arsenal side that dominated the games. It was an Arsenal side that really showed a lot of cohesion, a lot of fluidity, and a lot of understanding of one another. The opposite is happening in this preseason, and it has happened in this preseason. We are showing a lot of disjointedness, and we're showing that there are some players that are actually new, and there's some players that are actually used to the system. So you can see that when Matt Odegaard comes onto the pitch, there is a lot of cohesion. There is a lot of free-flowing football. There is a channel. So he's become the channel. The difference between this and last season is Odegaard was a free-flowing football channel. Xhaka was a free-flowing football channel, and Partey was a free-flowing football channel. It kind of feels like with Xhaka out of the team, everything has actually disintegrated. I'm not saying Xhaka should come back, nowhere near that. What I'm saying is that the new season is ready, but we are not actually ready for it. So I won't be surprised to see Arsenal win maybe the first 2 games, draw 1 and lose 1 in our first 5. I really expect us to lose a game in our first 5 games. The reason is we are no longer as predictable as we were last campaign. That unpredictability is very good, but then it hurts the way we play. It hurts the understanding. It hurts the cohesion. I want to be honest in the comment box below. If you have enjoyed Arsenal's preseason games, like not the goals, not the wins, but the football, I want you to drop a dislike on this video. I'm going to call your bluff. I want you to drop a dislike on this video if you've really totally enjoyed the football the way you enjoyed it last season and the way you enjoyed it the preseason before last season. Next one on the list is obviously we are not winning the title. So I've seen this and I've actually made up my mind. So I thought this season was going to be ours. I thought it was going to be straightforward. Arsenal are going to launch a heavy touch on the title charge. I don't think we're going to win the title. I don't think we're going to be among the title favorites of next season. The reason is what I've just talked about. If you want to win the title, if you want to compete with Manchester City, if you want to compete with Man United, and actually, I've loved the way Man United have prepared for their preseason. Yes, they've lost a couple of games. They lost to Real Madrid. They lost to some team that I don't even know. They also lost to Borussia Dortmund. But they have shown elements of what we did show in preseason last summer. Cohesiveness, understanding, and a team. They understand that they're a team in that rebuild process. So what they do everything with a lot of caution, and they do everything with a lot of care. Why I think Arsenal will not win the title, I will give you my reasons when I do my predictions, but I have 2 main reasons why we will not win the title. One, I don't think the maturity levels have actually gone up. 2, I don't think, yes, the quality has gone up, But I don't think we are going to adapt to our new players and the new systems that Mikel Arteta is trying to create early enough for us to chase Manchester City and chase whoever is going to be onto Manchester City. I'm actually predicting Arsenal to finish third or fourth next season. I'm not really convinced. Like, that is how unconvincing for me it has been in preseason. And I don't want to lie, I'm not anywhere near Arsenal going for the title. It's not about, look, many people have gone, they've brought in Rice, an upgrade on Xhaka, they win the title. I don't think it's as easy as that. I don't think it is as smooth and fluid as that. The predictions are easy, but if you're a real Arsenal fan and you looked at our team, you must be actually more concerned than excited for the new season. Point number 4, Rice, Havertz, and the new boys are going to take some time to settle in. My problem with Mikel Arteta is he's got something working. He's got a system that worked for us last season, and he has completely obliterated it in this preseason. And that literally means that we can't play that system now. We cannot play that system because the players have been conditioned to something different in preseason. So I don't expect him now to go, boom, I'm going back to my old tactics. I'm going to change everything. And that is actually going to take a lot of time for Kai Havertz and Declan Rice to understand their new roles and their new responsibilities in this team. I've looked at Rice play on that left-hand side, especially in the Monaco game, and he was a little bit all right. I've seen Kai Havertz play in that position as well, and he's all right. He is all right. They are all right. They're not exponentially doing it like Xhaka was doing it. They're not adding absolute quality more than Xhaka. And that is my scare. And that is why I kind of feel like we have overthought these things and we have overthought the process. I think it will come around, though. I really think it will come around. But I tell you what, in that position, Ilkay Gundogan has won everything for Manchester City. If Arsenal had just gone and signed a player like Gabriel Viega or Julian Brandt and put him there, I kind of feel like it would have been much better and much smoother and much easier. But I don't want to be overcritical. I don't want to overcriticize. These boys are good, but it's gonna take them some time. So we might see the first 10 games in this Arsenal team really uncoordinated and uninspiring and less of entertainment in those games. That is what I expect to see. But anyway, we will have to think about it, right? Mikel has to think about it, and we will see how those boys fit in. I think Trossard is going to be a key player for us next season, and I'm going to talk about Trossard next. But the way he has actually proven himself as one of the very vital parts of this team in preseason, Mikel definitely is saying that. He's going to be a key player, especially with Kai Havertz and Declan Rice taking their time to settle in. My fifth observation is a positive. Sorry with the negatives. Trossard, Kivio, Timber, and Saliba will shine next season. If there is a positive I've seen in this preseason, it has been Julian Timber and Leandro Trossard. Of course, Saliba, great. I think with William Saliba, what you will have seen is you expected him to come from that injury with maybe a glitch. Yeah, I did expect him to come back with a glitch because it was some time off, okay? And, of course, mentally and emotionally, he will have felt that because of his absence, the team actually failed to win the title, but he's come back better. Solid, fast, he's becoming more of a leader. I think he's limiting his movements to become a better centre-back. You know, I've always seen my favourite centre-backs. Milan Skriniar, Ramos as well. They're ball-playing centre-backs. They have that ability to play the ball. They will travel. They have the ability to travel throughout the pitch. But one of the things that makes them a very full and complete centre-back is they concentrate on their job. So William Saliba has actually realized that despite the fact that he wants to be as good as Bastoni on the ball or as good as Virgil van Dijk on the ball, it is better for him to calm down, concentrate on that defensive part of his game. And I think he's doing that and it's making him look like a very, very much better centre back. Julian Timber, I'm lost for words. He's one of the best players we have already seen in pre-season. Jakub Kiwior is going to be a key player for Arsenal. So with Alexander Zinchenko struggling with injuries in and out, and with teams also trying to target him a lot of the time, Mikel Arteta will want some defensive assurance on the left-hand side, and also I think Mikel will want that technical bit of a player. Now, what we're going to see next season, we're going to talk about the tactics, but what we're going to see next season is the ability to invert two players. Kiwior will be inverting, but Timber will be inverting as well in midfield. So we will be playing with a midfield of three, two fullbacks who will have inverted to join up with Rice or Thomas Partey, and then that actually gives you a more solid unit defensively, but also a more solid base as well. So Kiwior is going to be a key player. Trossard, this preseason, the best we've had. To be honest, I think he just missed the preseason. He came in January, had 10 assists and I think 2 goals or 1 goal, depending on what source you actually want to believe. But Trossard has been absolutely very, very good. And lastly, Arteta is overthinking the tactics. I kind of feel like what we had last season was very open, very predictable. Everyone could see it, but no one could stop it. I think what we should have done is go out there and bring in players that reinforce that notion. I don't have a problem with the manager having 2, 3, 4, 5 plans, because I've always said that one plan doesn't work. But I kind of feel like what we have been used to as a unit, as a team, has been kind of disintegrated, and we're building something new. That might take us half a season to come around. And I hope by the time we come around, we are not out of the UEFA Champions League positions, because that will be detrimental to Mikel Arteta's CV. But anyway, those are my 6 lessons that I've got from pre-season. More of the content coming your way. Hit that like button and subscribe to the podcast as well.